Good morning. Margie, thank you so much. Chewy stole my speech, so this is going to be really short. First of all, I would like to thank the Health and Medicine Policy Research Group, who have been so helpful to us. When Paul Vallis became CEO, he wanted to cut out the school nursing program, and the Health and Medicine Policy Research Group provided data to show how important it was for us to have school nurses. And clearly, we do not have enough. I would point, thank you. I would point, unfortunately, to Philadelphia, which this year 2 children unfortunately died of asthma attacks, and there were no school nurses available for them because they had been cut. When we start talking about budget cuts, we always look at who gets affected the most. And in our society, it's almost always the most vulnerable. That is a serious problem that has to be addressed. And we cannot do it if we don't come together and see that education, healthcare, the economy, crime, all of these are inextricably linked. I would also like to have a personal note, and I know that Quentin left Chicago, Quentin Young, and is now living in California. I became a member of WBEZ when I was a medical student. A lot of people don't know that I was actually a medical student. Thank you, Chewy. And that didn't work out. But clearly my pathway led somewhere else. And I decided to take the student membership to WBEZ. Quentin Young actually called me and said that was an important thing to do. He made a phone call to me for a $15 pledge because he said medical students have to be the first people to understand what's coming next. So I think I've been involved with this group, not knowing that, for quite some time. In addition, if you look around the world, we as Americans always think we're number one in everything, and we're finding out we're not, okay? And one of the things we're not number one in is life expectancy. We used to be. We're also not number one in height. We used to be number one in height, which is also indicative of the health of a nation. I think Holland is now number one in height. But if you look at all of the countries that are doing so much better, one of the things that people do not worry about is healthcare. It should be a basic human right. Your healthcare should not be determined on your ability to pay. We should not be rewarding people who are incentivized for illness as opposed to for health. It has taken years for us to have a central policy around preventive healthcare. Higher educational attainment leads to healthier lifestyles. But it is still no guarantee. And one of the reasons is, as Chewy said, we have healthcare and educational policies that conflict with one another. We have to start teasing that apart so that we can find the ways where we can come together. And I will tell you, if we look at the statistics available for us, we can start making better decisions. Now, in the education world, we keep hearing about data-driven decisions. We don't need to be driven by data. I will tell you, that is not the car I want to be in. I want to be informed by data. See, there's a difference. We need to be informed by data so that we make better decisions. but being driven by data takes away the human touch. So in this city, we know which communities are struggling and which ones are not. And in the communities that struggle, what we see over and over and over again in policy for healthcare and in policy for education, that the people who struggle and are most vulnerable are punished for their poverty. And I think this is really something we need to think about. They are punished. Their schools are closed. Their mental health clinics are closed. Their access to health care closed. Why? Because they are the most vulnerable, they have the least voice, and they do not complain. They accept their lot. But when people start saying we have to have a better way to do this, and they look for leadership, there has been virtually none. Oh, thank you. Thank you for recognizing that. We cannot say that we are an enlightened society when the most vulnerable of our members are silenced, have no voice, and no access to the halls of power. Because within the halls of power is where policy is made. In Margie's dreams, I was elected to a school board. Those of us who live in Chicago know we don't have an elected school board. If you live in Hinsdale and you didn't go vote, you have a strange school board. So it's important for us to use our ability to have a participatory democracy. We are all responsible for this. It requires our own activism. And if all you can do is go pull a lever or punch a hole or press a keystroke, we have got to do it. I'm 61 years old. One of my classmates is here from high school. Hi, Susan. I saw you come in. Dr. Rogers. I have to tell you that I grew up at a time watching the change in America on television. So I remember the water hoses and the acid poured in swimming pools. I remember all of this. This was not history class for me. I am concerned that we are marginalizing poor people and that there is a voice that comes out and says they deserve what they get, as if I did not hit the parent lottery, because I did. And as if a lot of us did not hit the parent lottery. We can't choose where we are born. It is important. And what I'm so happy is if you have not seen an agenda for today, that you are going to have access to people and students who are working in the trenches. You're not going to hear just experts, because I think when we rely on the just experts, we lose that connectivity to the people who are living the lives. They have value. They have value. They must be heard. They must be validated and vindicated. And we have an opportunity to work together to make that happen. I will tell you that it is an uphill battle. One of the things I do not mind is if you go online and there's ever a story about me, read the comments. Read the comments. They are so nasty and vicious, not to me, but to our students, to our children. That people don't have any empathy around the lives that our children lead. Or we hear we have to do it like a business. Please show me the business where you have 30 clients, 7 of whom do not speak English, 5 of whom are not interested in your product. Your company did not give you the tools and the resources to make a good presentation, but you are going to be evaluated on 100% of your customers buying your product. And you are responsible for the product that the rest of your company produces, whether you know anything about it or not. So please tell me the business that will function under those kinds of circumstances. We have a variety of ways we can choose to go. I hope we will go on a path where everybody is in and nobody is out. Thank you.